Okay, hello, welcome back. I am actually playing my least favorite BioShock game.
I'm afraid of you.
So that's what's going on right here. And wanted to talk a little bit about the Voiceless in video games while I just show the little opening of this particular game.
Are you going to just sit there?
Normally, in situations where there are characters who are, or not characters, but actual people in real life described as voiceless.
And why is that?
Those people, politically speaking, if they're described as voiceless, then they're people who aren't representing government, can't really talk or describe their situation or, defend themselves with words in normal society. And sadly nowadays, when we get into the voiceless, and in a political manner, people who are it's argued over who actually is voiceless, who isn't voiceless, all that fun stuff. Fortunately in games, voiceless is actually a very, very good thing. So let's take BioShock, shall we? Just complete as a series. So, Jack in BioShock 1, I think he's either Jack or Jake, I always forget what his actual name is. So, Jack is voiceless except for a sequence at the beginning, which we have, which I discovered was actually added just barely before release, where we hear his voice while he's on the airplane. As kind of an introduction to the game and the character. Which kind of helped people connect with the character. Other than that, he's completely voiceless throughout the rest of the game. Delta has absolutely no voice whatsoever throughout the entire game in BioShock 2. Booker, on the other hand, who I'm playing right now, won't shut up. He's constantly talking, constantly, asserting his character. So, this, of all the BioShock games, this one is my least favorite. I just don't think it was a very good game at all. And, part of the reason is that, Booker's not all that likable to me. I don't find him relatable or likable or anything like that. I just, I don't like his commentary. I don't like the way he acts and treats people around him. And there's very few parts in the game where he's, I feel like I can relate to him. I have no problem relating to Jack. I'm going to call him Jack. And Delta in the first two BioShocks.
I guess you're expecting me?
So, and I think that's the important thing in games where characters have a voice.
Good luck with that, pal. The
player can very easily relate to these characters. But where the characters have a voice, the characters have to be much more likable by the people who play the games. So, you get what I like to call the jerk syndrome in video games.
Is anyone here? Hello?
Namely, you get characters who, like Booker, are kind of jerks throughout the game, and people who play the game don't necessarily relate to him. I had a similar problem with Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I just found Edward Kenway to be such a jerk throughout the entire game. And as such, I actually, never completed the game. Not that most of the game wasn't fun, but the stuff that was challenging or aggravating or annoying... I wish I could turn that radio off. The parts in the game that were aggravating or annoying weren't enough to overcome the parts that weren't enough to overcome the fact that Edward I know what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying it very well. Edward was pretty much a jerk throughout the entire game. And when the game got hard and difficult, I just didn't see much of a reason to continue following his story. And so I got 3/4 of the way through the game and just stopped playing it. I did manage to complete this game of BioShock, but honestly, I've never been able to replay it or really enjoy it, except for this first little bit, which I've used a couple of times to, I wonder how I get out. Oh, there we go. Which I've used a couple times for video game footage, just to show what the game is actually like and what's going on here. So, that is why in many games, especially first-person games, because you're literally inside the main character. So in first-person games especially, but in a lot of other games, the main character, the main hero, is silent. And that allows you to kind of... I've used this concept before, but to imprint on the main character. To be able to look at the main character and see yourself within the realm of that character. I'm getting rich here, haha. But, so that's why... Often, in many games, a silent character is preferable to a character who's voiced. Because if you find something within a character you just don't like, that can completely turn you off. I mean, the same is true of just any aspect of the gameplay. If there's something about the storyline, something about the gameplay you just don't like, it'll turn you off. You will feel like you don't like it, and oftentimes, one of the things, this game in particular, but other games as well, that have turned me off to them is the fact that the main character is a jerk. I cannot relate to them. And, that's something about this particular game. I relate to the first two characters in BioShock. I really, really like both of those characters. I don't like Booker at all. And, yeah. I think that about covers everything I want to say. This is why sometimes a voiceless character is better than a voiced character within games. So anyway, I'm going to remain out here with this character in the rain, maybe catch my death of a cold and avoid the everything else that happens in this game. Just for the heck of it. Anyway, let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.